What's buzzing in the world of innovation and progress? Get ready, because the Electro Drive news is dropping hot updates that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. The pace of change is relentless, and we're here to bring you the inside scoop on the developments shaping our future. From groundbreaking infrastructure shifts to strategic industry moves and the evolution of high-performance machines, we've got it all. Buckle up for a rapid-fire rundown of the stories that are making waves right now. We're kicking things off with a major development that could significantly boost EV charging capabilities in a region that desperately needs it. Imagine hitting the road with more confidence, knowing that reliable, high-speed charging is within reach. This is about to become a reality thanks to a significant program being revitalized, potentially transforming the EV landscape for thousands. Next up, we're diving deep into the strategic plays happening behind the scenes in the electric vehicle industry. It's not just about the cars themselves, but the intricate dance of workforce management and market positioning that determines who leads the charge. We'll explore the latest adjustments being made by a major player and what it means for the competitive EV landscape. Get ready for some insights that go beyond the headlines. Then, we shift gears to the world of luxury performance. When you think of cutting-edge speed and design, one name often comes to mind. But what happens when the future of electrification meets the legacy of a legendary brand? We're uncovering the latest on whether a highly anticipated electric model is still on the horizon and the surprising timeline that's emerging. This is a story about ambition, innovation, and the careful calibration of dreams. And finally, we're looking at the massive expansion of essential EV infrastructure. The charging network is growing at an incredible pace, and one major automotive giant has laid out an ambitious vision for the coming years. We're talking about a goal that will dramatically increase the number of charging points available nationwide, making EV ownership more practical than ever before. Stick around, because you won't want to miss a single second of this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always in the loop. Charging forward, Alaska's EV network gets a boost. A vital program aimed at expanding electric vehicle charging infrastructure in Alaska is back on track, bringing new hope for EV owners in the interior. This revitalization, stemming from the reopening of a key federal initiative, promises to overcome previous hurdles and accelerate the deployment of much-needed charging stations. The Trump administration's mid-August decision to re-engage a federal program focused on EV infrastructure, coupled with relaxed installation requirements, is set to make a significant impact. For too long, EV drivers in Alaska, especially outside of major hubs like Anchorage and Juneau, have faced a scarcity of reliable charging options, particularly on the state's extensive highway system. This new push aims to change that narrative entirely. The Alaska Energy Authority, led by Director Curtis Thayer, oversees the state's ambitious plans to integrate more charging stations into its highway network. Thayer expressed optimism, noting that the revised federal guidelines are more attainable for Alaska. He highlighted how previous requirements for charger size and proximity were often impractical and costly for the state's unique geography and lower population density. The old plan mandated chargers of a certain size and required stations to be located within 15 miles of each other, a challenging feat in vast interior landscapes. With the program's funding now flowing again, the State Energy Authority anticipates approximately $50 million from the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program. The immediate focus is on installing 9 charging stations along the park's highway, a crucial corridor connecting Fairbanks and Anchorage, with construction slated to commence next summer. Beyond this initial phase, plans are in motion to extend charging solutions to other highways and even remote coastal communities, including Juneau, Ketchikan, Sitka, Kodiak, Yakutat, and Cordova, wherever ferry services operate. This represents years of planned work and a significant commitment to electrification. Furthermore, a separate $2.5 million project dedicated to installing charging stations around Fairbanks has also received renewed federal support. The Fairbanks Area Surface Transportation Planning Technical Committee is set to reopen its call for site hosts on October 1st, further demonstrating the growing momentum in the region. This dual approach of revitalized federal programs and localized planning is poised to dramatically improve the EV charging experience in Alaska, making electric travel a more viable and convenient option for residents and visitors alike. The implications are substantial, promising greater accessibility and reduced range anxiety for a growing number of EV owners in the last frontier. Hold on tight, because the EV revolution is full of surprises. Next, we're tuning into the strategic moves shaping the future of the electric vehicle market. Rivian navigates workforce shifts amidst EV market dynamics. In a significant move signaling adaptation within the rapidly evolving electric vehicle sector, Rivian has recently undertaken strategic workforce adjustments. These decisions, often complex and multifaceted, reflect the company's ongoing efforts to optimize operations and solidify its market position against a backdrop of intense competition and shifting consumer demands. While specific details regarding the scope and nature of these adjustments remain closely guarded, industry analysts are closely watching the implications for Rivian's production capabilities, innovation pipeline, and overall competitive strategy. The EV market is characterized by its high capital intensity, rapid technological advancements, and a constant need for efficiency. Companies like Rivian, which have positioned themselves as pioneers in premium electric adventure vehicles, must continually balance ambitious growth targets with the fiscal realities of scaling manufacturing and development. Workforce adjustments can encompass a range of measures, from targeted hiring in critical R&D areas to streamlining operations in less growth-oriented segments. For Rivian, the focus likely remains on enhancing its engineering prowess, accelerating software development, and ensuring the efficient production of its R1T pickup and R1S SUV, as well as its commercial delivery vans. These adjustments are not uncommon in industries undergoing such profound technological transformation. Competitors are also engaged in similar strategic recalibrations as they navigate supply chain challenges, battery technology advancements, and the global push towards electrification. The key for Rivian will be to leverage these changes to sharpen its competitive edge, ensuring it can meet the burgeoning demand for sustainable transportation solutions while maintaining its distinctive brand identity and commitment to performance and design. The success of these strategic workforce adjustments will be a critical factor in Rivian's ability to achieve long-term profitability and market leadership in the fiercely contested EV landscape. Investors and enthusiasts alike will be keen to observe how these internal shifts translate into tangible progress on product development, manufacturing output, and market penetration in the coming quarters. The company's ability to adapt and innovate in its internal structure will undoubtedly mirror its external success in bringing compelling electric vehicles to a global audience. Stay with us as we uncover more about the strategic shifts in the EV world. But first, let's see what's happening with performance vehicles and their electric future. McLaren's electrifying future, a measured approach. The allure of electrification is sweeping across the automotive world, but not every supercar legend is ready to go fully electric overnight. McLaren, a marque synonymous with exhilarating performance and cutting-edge design, is taking a notably deliberate path toward electrification. While the dream of a pure McLaren EV is certainly on the radar, CEO Nick Collins has made it clear that the company is not in a rush, emphasizing that internal combustion engines will remain central to the brand's identity for the foreseeable future. This measured stance comes as the broader automotive industry navigates a complex transition, with many manufacturers reevaluating their electrification timelines and strategies. McLaren is already making strides in hybrid technology, notably with its Artura model, which seamlessly blends a twin-turbocharged 3-liter V6 engine with an electric motor. The upcoming W1 hypercar will also feature a hybrid V8 powertrain, showcasing the brand's commitment to integrating electric power. However, a fully electric McLaren is still a distant prospect. Development for such a vehicle is reportedly underway, but significant challenges and extensive work remain, as indicated by previous CEO statements. The initial ambition to transition to a fully electric lineup by the end of the decade has been recalibrated, mirroring a trend seen across the industry. Lamborghini, for instance, has postponed its EV launch to 2029, and even Audi has reversed its decision to phase out combustion engines entirely by 2032, opting to continue producing gasoline engines for at least another decade. This industry-wide reevaluation is partly influenced by shifting buyer preferences and economic factors. Reports suggest that demand for high-priced electric vehicles among affluent buyers is cooling, a sentiment echoed by Rimac CEO Mate Rimac, who attributes this to regulatory pressures. With federal tax incentives in flux in the United States and a general air of uncertainty surrounding the EV market, automakers are exercising caution. For a brand like McLaren, which thrives on catering to a discerning clientele seeking ultimate performance, there's little immediate incentive to rush into a segment where high-end buyers might be hesitant. The enduring appeal and evolving capabilities of gasoline engines provide a strong foundation for McLaren to continue capitalizing on its heritage while strategically integrating electrification. The path forward for McLaren is one of careful evolution, ensuring that any future electric offerings uphold the brand's legacy of performance, luxury, and driving exhilaration, without compromising the core identity that enthusiasts cherish. This measured approach highlights a broader industry trend. But what does this mean for the massive expansion of charging infrastructure? We've got the details. GM's ambitious EV charging network expansion, 100,000 stalls by 2027. General Motors is setting an aggressive target for the growth of public DC fast charging infrastructure in the United States, projecting access to over 100,000 charging stalls by the end of 2027. This ambitious goal signifies a major commitment to alleviating range anxiety and bolstering the practicality of electric vehicle ownership for GM customers and the broader EV community. The current U.S. public DC fast charging network has surpassed 60,000 stalls, and GM's forecast indicates a growth rate exceeding 50% over the next 3 years. Specifically, GM anticipates its customers will have access to more than 65,000 public fast charging bays by the close of 2025, climbing to over 80,000 by the end of 2026, and ultimately reaching the 100,000 stall mark before 2027 concludes. This rapid expansion is not just about quantity. It also encompasses improvements in charger power output and reliability, further enhancing the user experience. GM's Executive Vice President of Global Manufacturing and Sustainability, Gerald Johnson, highlighted this progress, stating, "Finally, road trips are getting easier by the day as GM Energy, EVgo, IONNA, and others expand the public fast charging network, which will help drive long-term adoption." This expansion is occurring alongside a notable surge in GM's own EV sales. August marked a record-breaking month for the company in the U.S., with over 21,000 EVs sold across its Chevrolet, Cadillac, and GMC brands, positioning GM as the second-largest EV seller behind Tesla. This sales boom is partly attributed to the impending expiration of federal tax credits on September 30, 2025, which is expected to lead to a temporary slowdown in Q4 as the market adjusts. Despite this anticipated market normalization, GM remains optimistic about its long-term EV strategy, aiming to continue growing its market share with new and more affordable models, such as the upcoming Chevrolet Bolt EV. The company plans to manage production carefully to avoid oversupply during the anticipated market dip. The expansion of charging infrastructure, coupled with GM's commitment to developing accessible EV models, paints a clear picture of the company's dedication to accelerating the transition to electric mobility. This infrastructural investment is crucial for widespread EV adoption, making longer journeys more feasible and reducing the perceived barriers to entry for potential EV buyers. The convergence of increased charging availability and a more diverse range of affordable EV options is set to redefine the automotive landscape. This massive charging network growth is a game-changer for EVs. But what's next for the high-performance electric dream? And that's a wrap on today's electrifying news. We saw Alaska's EV charging network get a major boost with a revitalized federal program. Then, we dove into Rivian's strategic workforce adjustments and their impact on the competitive EV market. We also uncovered McLaren's measured approach to electrification, revealing that a full EV is still some way off. Finally, we learned about General Motors' incredible goal to reach 100,000 public DC fast-charging stalls in the US by 2027. Don't miss out on any of these groundbreaking developments. If you found this update valuable, smash that like button, subscribe to Electro Drive News for more cutting-edge content, and ring that notification bell so you're always the first to know. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to follow us on all our social channels for daily insights. We'll see you in the next one.